You got some problems that you wanna solve? Then let's chat. That job getting on your nerves, then let's chat. Girl, you know I can relate, so let's chat. Cause I'ma tell you what the bottom line is.
I'ma tell you what the bottom line is. I'ma tell you what the bottom line is. I'ma tell you what the bottom.
It's your girl Cece. I'm your hostess with the mostest.
line is.
I'ma tell you what the bottom line is.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of The Bottom Line Is. It's your girl Cece, and I have my sister Ashley here with me.
Hi guys.
So today's episode is called Coming Out. So I know you're asking, well, what exactly does that mean? I'm going to tell you what it means. Two stories that you're going to hear today. First, we're going to start with Ashley's story. This is why I have wine today. I do not condone drinking under the age of 21. Don't do it. So tell us about your story, girlfriend.
I am currently engaged. I'm engaged to a lovely lady. Her name is Jada, and we will be getting married next May. We've been together for 3 years. We've known each other for 8 years. How did we meet? She came in my inbox and
she slid in your DM.
She slid in my DM.
Oh,
that's how we met.
Girl.
She slid in my DM, and I was actually in a relationship at that point, and so we played Russian roulette or tag for years, being in a relationship, and yeah, and so here we are, and yeah, she's great. She's wonderful. She helps me realize a lot. She helps grow me. I think we help grow each other. If she was here, she would say the same thing. And I got all the good stuff in the beginning, and that's important. I feel like all my past relationships, I feel like I didn't get the bad end of the stick till the end when I was years into it. But with me and her, we got it head on, and so we worked past that, and that's it. And if you ever are with somebody, realize that not only are you growing as a person, but you're growing as a couple, and just like you're growing, they're growing, and then you guys got to grow together. I grew up in the church. I've preached before. I used to play the drums in church. I used to go to church, honestly, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, like every weekend. That was my thing, because when I was a teen, I was going to a Pentecostal church, and my mother went to a Baptist church, so of course I still had to go with her. And I always used to, about females, I used to be like, she has titties, I have titties. That's not gonna happen. And then being raised religious, it was like, how am I gonna come out? But as I got older, I used to go to this bar with one of my boyfriends, and he wasn't packing, y'all. It was like, sex was like, no. But that's besides the point.
Him wasn't amazing.
It wasn't. It was like, imagine being drunk, thinking you about to go get laid, and it didn't get hard. It was like, it was a struggle. So I used to go to this bar with him, and it was a bartender there, and she used to serve us drinks, and we used to laugh and joke, and I never really thought anything about it. And then when I started going to the bar without him, one day she walked me to the car, and
okay,
she walked me to the car and she kissed me. Now, mind you, I'm drunk, and this is around the same time that song was. What's the song called? I kissed a girl, and I
yeah.
So I was drunk, and I was riding home, and it was playing in my ear the whole day. And so I'm like, did she just kiss me? Like, I'm like, all right, I ain't gotta be scared no more. But damn, I'm scared. So I had moved out of my apartment, and I moved with my mother for a little bit, for like 2 months. So I was staying there, and then I was always, she had the girl, my first, she had invited me to the circus. She had kids, so she invited me to the circus. I went to the circus. After that, we went to Hazelwood, and shout out to Hazelwood. We went to Hazelwood, and is this really wrong?
No, I don't even know what Hazelwood is.
Hazelwood,
I'm a naive person.
Hazelwood is like Windsor End. It's called Hazelwood End.
Okay.
It's on the east side. But we went out after we took the kids to the circus, and I got some head.
One thing led to another,
and it was great. And so I kept doing it. And then I told you I was staying with my mother. So she was like, "Are you sleeping with Kia?" And I struggled to tell my mother, but once my mother asked me, she was like, "Are you sleeping with her?" I was like, "Well, the cat's out the bag," and a weight was lifted off my shoulder. I'm like, "Well, it's out," and that was it. But I used to be like, "We can't. What am I going to do with a female? It's not."
Yeah, I get you.
But once I did it, it was like, okay, I could do that. And so fast forward, I'm engaged to a female, and I'll be getting married and to a female. And I think if I had a message for anybody, I would rather live in the truth and not in a lie. I would rather, like, because if I would have married a guy, then I would be cheating on you to go with a female. You know what I'm saying? So living your truth.
No, I feel you.
That's just that, living your truth. God loves you either way.
That's true, and that's the part I think sometimes people like struggle with it, because we all grew up in a religious household. You know, you worry about being judged, and it's like I feel like more people worry worry about being judged by the people around them, you know, in their circle, as opposed to God himself. When if we was to die tomorrow, you know, I don't think, you know, God will judge us as harshly as the people around us do. And it's unfortunate that we live in that type of society that does that. And I don't think it helps it.
No one sin is greater than the next.
It sure ain't. Because, you know, you sin every day in some shape or form. So,
Right.
you know, it is what it is. Well, thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Today is a day of learning. So, you know, everybody around me is always like, oh, when are you going to date? When are you going to, you know, meet a man, blah, blah, blah. And the answer to that is, I don't know. IDK. Okay, that's first.
Why don't you know though?
Because I'm tired. You know, what it was a...
You're tired.
Yeah, it was a meme. It was just like, oh, well, I'm never going to meet anybody by sitting here in the bed all day. And I feel that. I can relate to that. Because unless God, I wish God would just drop Shamar down. And
Shamar didn't went on without you, baby. And I just need you to understand that. Okay, it's your boyfriend, right? The bottom line is...
Exactly. I've always loved him. But
The bottom line is you can't live life being single
I know.
for the rest of your life. You're going to be 75 and all alone.
I know. I always, you know, as a little girl, I thought that by 25, I would be married. I would have kids. I would have not so much the perfect life, but an amazing life that I would be leading. And it's done a complete 360. I never wanted to date while I was in school, nor did I ever get asked, because I just knew that I didn't want anything to distract me, you know, so it was never anything in my mind. But I had, you know, when I moved to Seattle, I was like, okay, I am going to try to date, because I never really dated, which I talked about that in probably my second episode, my dating escapades, if you will. I never did. So I got on the app, and I was just like, God, I think I probably went on in a span of 6 months, maybe 8 dates, and it just went nowhere. And I was like, okay, the older I get, I'm thinking this pool is getting a little bit smaller and smaller, and the quality, I'll be fine with the quantity being low, but the quality.
So what are you looking for? What do you call quality? Let's talk about that.
But hold up, wait a minute. So I remember talking to my ex. We referred to him as Mike, and saying, God, I feel like I just need to play the other field, because I'm just like, I just don't know anymore. And then I don't know, he was trying to shun me on that or whatever, because, you know, he is of a different culture and everything like that. So, but one of my friends out there, I started becoming close with, and I don't know if it's something about me or what, but I did start having an attraction, you know, to her, but it never, you know, went anywhere. Yeah, so it never went anywhere. And then when I was moving from Seattle, you know, her and I still, you know, kept in touch, because, we still kept in touch. But I had met somebody on a dating app, and I was like, well, let's see where this goes or what have you. So I actually had visited Seattle twice and, you know, hung out with her, but I was still like indecisive. I was more so in that exploratory stage, because in my mind, I still feel like when it comes down to it, that I'm going to potentially, you know, marry a guy and have that, you know, that life. But I don't know if it's just me, again, in the exploratory phase, just wanted to try something. I don't know. But then in December, I had my pre-birthday dinner, and I said to my friends, I said, I am depressed. And I knew I've been depressed. I've been what do you call what is it? Socially depressed? I forgot what the phrase is, but functional depressed person, you know, because I feel like I don't have the time to be depressed. Mm-hmm. And I think my friends were a little taken back by that, but nobody took it seriously, because they're used to me being that happy-go-lucky person or whatever. So that was like December 2nd. Then December 5th, I had gotten on this app, and the first person that popped up, I thought she was just gorgeous. And, you know, like for me, like I can't, if I walk down the street, I'm not gonna be like, oh, that she looks great or whatever. It's not like that. It's just like if somebody just randomly sparks my interest, you know. And she did, and her bio said, you know, basically to slide in her DM. So I did that, and we ended up meeting for a quick dinner before she started her night shift. And it was an amazing time. And I really, for the first time out of all my relationships and communications and anything, any type of relationship, I felt at peace. I felt valued. I felt like I was supposed to feel, you know. And it was nice. And it was like kind of a delay in it because like right after that first meeting, she had gotten sick, but we were still talking on the phone every day. And then I ended up getting COVID, which I still don't understand how, but whatever. And so we really didn't go on our first official date until the day after Christmas. But again, we talked and FaceTimed every day, you know, and, you know, I had an amazing time. And, you know, long story short, I guess you can say I ruined it, you know, by not sharing something, which I won't talk about here, that I should have said from Jump Street that I did not know how to process, you know, as well. And so it's unfortunate that even though I thought that this person knew me, that, you know, they decided to end the relationship. And I mean, it had literally was exactly 1 month, but in that 1 month, it was so many things that we had in common alike. And there was I don't know, I was 37, she was 44, so whatever, that 7-year difference. But I really can just say I felt in love right off the bat, you know, and
this is all taking me.
I know it is.
I'm just so speechless right now.
It's
I'm like,
taking a lot of my viewers too. But
you bet.
Yeah, and I think about her all the time still. I still struggle with how to move past that and grieve that, because now I feel like, okay, I've laid it all out there on the line and now I've gotten rejected. Now I feel like, oh man, I gotta go back into my little cocoon, you know. And, you know, as a result of that, I did, you know, tell my sisters, and now I'm telling you, actually, Brea probably won't know till she watches. To be quite honest with you. And I told my mom, I feel like it's not something you go, you know, waving a flag to tell people about either, you know what I mean? Because it wasn't something, and I had also told her this too, until I knew, you know, again, I was in the exploratory phase, but I knew that I was getting to that point at that 1 month, and we were getting ready to go away to National Harbor. Actually, that weekend we separated that, and I wanted to tell her that weekend that you know, I love you, and I'm going to tell, you know, I want to tell everybody about it, you know. And I remember when that weekend didn't happen, and I was just really extra depressed that weekend, and my aunt said, did that girl kiss you? Just like what you said, like, grandma. And I just walked down the steps. Like, just like the question, like I never heard the question.
Right.
Because I'm like, what do you say? I wasn't something I was feeling like talking about, especially because I was already raw after the separation. And I would give anything to have that relationship back. And
so let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you think if you reached out that she would come back?
I did reach out. What I was saying before we started recording, 2/22, that was her birthday, 2/22. And I sent a DM because I was blocked on text message to say, you know, happy birthday, hoping you're having an amazing day, miss you every day. She saw it, but no response. So, you know.
But did you stop?
I reached out again, maybe about a few weeks ago now, and she saw it, and then she turned off her IG. I was like, oh, okay. Now I feel like I'm like stalkerish, so I ain't saying nothing, you know what I mean, nothing else. But, you know, I just thought that, you know, there'll be some level of maturity to be able to have a conversation. And I know the viewers here are not going to know. I'll tell you offline when we finish this, but
please do.
I know. I knew I wasn't going to be able to walk away with her. Like, look, y'all definitely getting her side profile there.
Please do, because this is taking me out of here. So was she feminine or dominant? Or?
No, she was
a little in between.
I think she was a little bit in between, but no, she defined herself as 70-30 dominant.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
You didn't tell me that you like girls.
I didn't know that I like
females.
I did not know.
Okay,
so the song you said played in your head, it played in mine too.
The girl. So did you kiss her?
Well, yeah, but like before her, like my first time, you know, kissing a girl, yeah, that song played in my mind too. Katy Perry, you did your thing with that song.
Definitely. Wait a minute. So you slept with a girl before?
Yeah, it's not going that deep on here. Moving on.
Okay, so that's what's wrong. You need a female.
I don't know. Now that I've gone back in my cocoon, because see, if we were walking down the street, I would say that, oh, that guy's attractive before I would a female. But it's not like I said, it was just something that just grabbed my attention,
okay,
you know, in that moment. And so I don't know. I really don't know. And I'm struggling with that. But, you know, again, I feel like I put myself out there yet again to be rejected. And I'm just like.
But I don't think it's rejection. Of course, you have to tell me, you know.
Right.
what that is. I don't think it's rejection. I think it's just something. Do you feel okay? So whatever it is that you didn't share, do you feel like you should have shared?
That would have been the right thing to do, but to be quite honest with you, it was something that I had repressed and didn't even think about until the beginning of the year when I got this vision to do the podcast. That thought came in my mind that, oh, I should share this with her, and I just didn't, you know what I mean? And so it wasn't until she picked me up for us to go to National Harbor. That was my first time seeing her face to face since the thought had came in my mind. I didn't even tell her about the podcast, I didn't even get to that point. So yeah, but I know how it could come off, but my thing is, I didn't think that I thought it would warrant us having a conversation, but in her mind, she felt like I took away her choice of making a determination if she wanted to still remain with me or not. So because of that, she just quite ended. And I know that that's her personality, from a previous text that we had shared, and she was just saying how when she gets angry or whatever, she tends to overthink, that she will
she shuts down.
Yep. And so that's why I gave her, because that happened on January 5th. So that's why I didn't reach out until her birthday, because I wanted to she said she was done, that next day by text message. And I wanted to give her time to process, you know what I mean? And so, so I thought that by that time that maybe she would have wanted to have a conversation. It's funny because I told her about you too. She didn't know all about that. Yeah, everything. But
okay. So let me say this. Mm-hmm. She's a Pisces.
Yes.
Sometimes they can be stuck. Okay.
Yeah.
They can be very stubborn. Mm-hmm. If it's meant to be, she'll come back around. But
that's what the psychic said. I've been talking to the psychic since this. Girl, I don't went to hypnotism. I don't even know if hypnotism is the word. But yes.
Hypnosis.
Yeah, hypnosis. Thank you. I said that all wrong, but yes, I've started therapy. It's been a time.
Okay, but you overthinking that. You gotta take it like this. Just think about it.
Because I regret. Part of me, and this may sound bad to say, but I regret going down that road of having that conversation that day and letting things lie, because it was something that I had controlled and it wouldn't have affected anything, because I felt like the majority of the world, but that's not my style. You know what I mean? But then I didn't expect to be opened, welcome with open arms, but I expected okay, let me take some time to process and then let's have a conversation. That's what I would expect a mature adults to do. You know what I mean? And not saying that she wasn't mature or anything. That's not what I'm saying. But
but yeah. Okay, so females, I'm gonna just let you know, females are very emotional creatures. Even the dominant ones, they are the most emotional. But
I know. I needed to talk to you earlier, but that's why I kept saying, when is you gonna come over here? So,
but think about it like this. See, you overthinking it, and you regret. You have to live life with no regrets,
and that's the part I had. I had trouble sleeping. I had a time. So now when everybody is like, oh, when you on a date? My heart is not really ready to go back out there. And
because I think that you're overthinking it. It's not, and especially when you get with a female, it can be it's emotional for you.
Yeah.
So now you're like, okay, well, I'm shut down, but you can't think about it like that. Think about, okay, so fast forward. Think about if y'all were in a relationship, right? Mm-hmm. How she would react if something happened. Mm-hmm. You would get the same reaction that you're having now. That means that's not for you. Or maybe she needs some time to grow. Yeah. So that doesn't mean shut yourself down or stop dating just because somebody treated you this way or reacted, because you got to live in your truth. You know what I'm saying? Now imagine if you wouldn't have told her what reaction she would have gave you.
I know.
Right. So live in your truth. So, okay, I have someone for you.
Oh my God. This is supposed to be a matchmaking session. Okay.
It's not a matchmaking session, but
see, it takes a lot for me.
I don't want my sister to be single for.
I know, but even with
a 40-year-old version,
it's a man. Damn. That has always been my biggest fear, actually. But it always takes me, it's okay, when I am introduced to new people, just with us or what have you, it's just it takes me a while to get to that point of comfortability, right? For whatever reason. But then sometimes with people, it's boom, it's I know you forever, you know what I mean? And that's what I felt like with her, for example. I felt dang, I felt like that with Mike, when we started talking. It wasn't, that awkward stage, I guess you would call it. And it was just just started texting we were just BFFs long time, but I don't know why I am like that, and I don't know if it's just me in general just not letting my guard down, because of that fear of rejection or what, because I know that I can be emotional and I can grab on and I can attach. I've always been a person that like attached too easy. I think that's the right phrase. Yeah. So
I used to be like that, and then I got slapped in my face, or plenty of, not literally slapped in my face, but it hit me a lot, and I was too attached, and then I just got to a point where, all right, I'm not gonna hurt my feelings that much.
yeah.
And so even like with me and Jada, like when Jada finally came to see me, I was like, I'm not ready to be in a relationship. I'm just not, you know what I'm saying? I was in therapy for I think the second or third time, and I'm just like, I'm not ready. But I think it was that honesty and being open that really got us. But you can't let how somebody else reacts affect your action.
I know.
And I mean, you tried it, so that means you're actually willing to do it. So just have fun, like live life.
It's hard. I'm sure some of you that are watching can relate when it's just, I don't know, like it's just, and I hate to keep saying like and all that stuff, but it's just hard. I think I would have a different perception. And again, it's just, me making an excuse if I didn't have all the responsibilities, because again, what I do in one aspect affects the other aspect. And that's one of the reasons what drew me to Mike was because he was also becoming a new caregiver, and so he could understand that. I feel like most people in relationships are like, oh, well, you don't ever have time for me and blah blah blah, and I'm just like, I did not want that, and so when he became a caregiver too, I was like, okay, well, he'll understand that. And then she was a nurse, so she understood that too. But I'm always going to make time. I always try to make time, even if it's at the expense of myself, which is not always a good thing, but still. So I try. So.
I have a lot of questions. I'm really processing this. I'm processing it. Okay. So would you try another female?
Not right now.
How you just can't shut down like that.
I just squashed her whole thought, y'all.
You can't just no.
I don't know what I want to try right now though, like because I'm still grieving that. Like
you are not grieving a 1 month.
I am
not relationship.
I am. I really am.
What's her number? Let me call her, because she is not going to have you in this trick bag like this.
Oh, we'll talk about that offline. All right. So, what advice would you give to somebody that is struggling with the idea of coming out and fear of being judged? Let's close this out.
So, if you are struggling with coming out, living your truth, honestly, living your truth, because the only person that's going to be battling it is you. I remember I went back and forth with males and females, just making sure this was really the right thing that I wanted to do. And a part of that was, me thinking about what other people would think of me. But once I got to a point where I really don't care what other people think, then I started living in my truth and really being happy. So if a female is what you want to be with a female. If a male is what you want to be with a male. Living your truth. You only have one person to answer to, and that's whatever God you serve, if you serve God. But living your truth. Don't worry about what people say, what people think. At the end of the day, it's you that have to live in it. So
yeah. So on that note, the bottom line is do what makes you happy. And that's a thought that I am processing and I am coping with and trying to understand. So stay tuned. There'll be more episodes following this topic.
I'm gonna work on her, because this took me by surprise.
I'm on your ass. So yeah, make sure you stay tuned. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Let me know your thoughts. Remember, week 4 is where I will do a live episode, or I will be online to answer your questions from previous episodes. So thank you so much.